Namaste, everyone. Throughout history, different spiritual traditions have explored the same universal truths, though their expressions may vary. One remarkable confluence of these truths can be found in the intersection of Vedantic wisdom and Sufi poetry. Both traditions emphasize the inner self, the nature of divinity, and a journey toward unity. In today's talk, we'll explore how Persian and Turkish-speaking Sufi poets reflect the teachings of Vedanta, drawing from the profound insights of Rumi, Hafiz, and others. Vedanta, one of the 6 orthodox schools of Hindu philosophy of Sanatana Dharma, teaches the unity of all existence and the realization that the self, the Atman, is one with the Supreme, the Brahman. It emphasizes the idea that the ultimate truth is beyond the material world and can only be experienced through inner realization and direct experience of the divine. Sufism, the mystical branch of Islam, shares similar themes. Its poets often speak of the quest for divine love, the union of the soul with God, and the dissolution of the ego in divine ecstasy. Like Vedanta, Sufi poets express that the ultimate reality transcends the physical realm, and the path to realization requires deep inner transformation. Perhaps the most famous of the Sufi poets, Jalaluddin Rumi, is a perfect example of Vedantic wisdom expressed in Persian Sufi poetry. Rumi's teachings emphasize the oneness of all existence and the transformative power of love, which mirrors Vedanta's understanding of Brahman as the ultimate, all-pervading essence. Rumi has teachings. The one teaching that I will be discussing right now is his teachings on union. Rumi often spoke of the soul's journey toward unity with the divine. In his Divan Hafiz, he says, "We are all born in the same place. Our ultimate journey is to return to that source." This parallels the Vedantic idea of realizing that the individual self is not separate from the ultimate reality of Brahman. Then there is the beloved and the self. Rumi's concept of the beloved is a powerful metaphor for the Vedantic exploration of the true self, the Atman. He writes, "Don't grieve. Anything you lose comes around in another form." This idea reflects the Vedantic notion of the eternal, undivided soul that is never lost, but instead continuously reborn in different forms. Rumi's metaphors of separation and union speak directly to the Vedantic vision. Our experience of separateness is an illusion, and the ultimate truth is that we are always one with the divine essence. Hafiz, another great Sufi poet, another great Persian Sufi poet, reflects Vedantic wisdom through his celebration of divine play, Leela. Like Vedanta, Hafiz suggests that life itself is an illusion, a dance of the divine. In his famous verse, "I wish I could show you when you are lonely or in darkness the astonishing light of your own being." This speaks to the Vedantic principle that the essence of God is within each individual, but it is hidden from the illusion of the material world. Then there is his concept of ego and of illusion. Hafiz often spoke of the ego as a veil that obstructs the realization of oneness with God. His poetry invites the reader to let go of the false self, the ego, and embrace the infinite, which is a key tenet of Vedantic thought. The Vedantic tradition teaches that the ego is an illusion, Maya, that separates us from the truth, and Hafiz's words echo this sentiment. Then there is his concept of unity and diversity. Hafiz's poetic metaphors celebrate the idea of unity and diversity, a core teaching in Vedanta. In one of his poems, he says, "I have learned so much from God that I can no longer call myself a Christian, a Hindu, a Muslim, a Jew." This reminds us of Vedanta's call for the realization that all paths lead to the same truth, and that our labels and divisions are meaningless in the face of the divine. In Turkish-speaking regions, poets like Yunus Emre also embody these Vedantic ideas. Yunus Emre, who lived in the 13th century, often spoke of the unity of all beings and the direct experience of the divine within. In one of his poems, he writes, "I am not a Turk, I am not a Persian, I am not a Muslim, I am not a Christian." This resonates deeply with the Vedantic idea of seeing beyond the egoic self and transcending all worldly labels. And like Vedantic teachings, Yunus Emre calls for a deep connection with the divine within all beings, a message that resonates in the call for self-realization and unity found in the Upanishads and Bhagavad Gita. Yunus' works reflect Vedantic ideas about the essential divinity of the soul, echoing the Atman-Brahman connection. Yunus Emre and other Turkish Sufi poets express the same Vedantic wisdom, recognizing the divine spark within all beings and embracing the inherent unity of the universe. They teach that the true self is beyond all identities and is one with the divine. As we see through the words of Rumi, Hafiz, Yunus Emre, and others, the core message of Sufi poetry closely mirrors the wisdom of Vedanta. Both traditions point us toward the same conclusion, that beyond the illusion of separation, beyond the ego, there is an all-encompassing unity that connects us to the divine, to each other, and to the universe. The Sufi poets, like the Vedantic sages, invite us to embark on a journey of self-realization. They ask us to look beyond our surface identities and reconnect with the eternal truth that resides within us all. This shared wisdom transcends borders, languages, and traditions, showing us that we are all part of the same divine consciousness. And this is where I end my dissertation. Thank you for watching.